Welcome back. Today we're digging into a listener's project, a forensic expose of a live stream host they call 007.
Right.
And the core of it is this guy's journey from, just light banter into really polarizing conspiratorial stuff, all while he's asking for money.
Yeah, and our job is to help the listener get past just what he says and really unmask how he operates. It has to be surgical.
Okay, so let's start there. The architecture of the stream. It feels so chaotic, but you're saying it's actually not.
Not at all. And that's the first major point for the expose. It needs to clearly establish the cyclical nature of his control, how he intentionally moves viewers from safety to conflict and back again.
Because right now, the draft might just see his topic jumps, from UK weather to the simulation hypothesis, as just him being random.
And that's the weakness. It's not random. If you treat it like it is, you miss the calculated intent behind it all.
It's about boosting engagement while also giving himself an out.
An out?
Yeah, plausible deniability. We need to frame these transitions as deliberate pacing tools.
He uses, ironic detachment to start these huge fights without ever having to be fully accountable for them.
So how do you prove that? I mean, how do we show it's calculated and he isn't just erratic?
You look for the patterns, the synchronicity. The listener needs to analyze the timing of his deflections.
Okay.
For instance, he has this habit of reading out some sarcastic, dumb joke about washing his towels, or a really bad one about his old boner.
Right.
And then literally seconds later, he makes an aggressive pivot into something super polarizing, like the Australian men's behavior minister or, codified misandry.
So the joke is a buffer. It's a palate cleanser that lets him drop a bomb without the transition feeling so jarring.
Precisely. It's risk management right before the provocation. And then you have to look at his moderation. It's very selective.
Right, like in that flat earth debate. It gets really heated.
Super heated. And then he just kicks a guy off, not for the argument, but for the tone. He's shouting, your voice is just fucking doing my head in, or learn to respect my fucking friends.
But doesn't that just make him look like a good host? Like he's trying to keep things civil?
That's the trick, isn't it? That's what we have to unmask. It's not about civility. It's about him showing that he controls the limits of the chaos he created. He lets it get to a boiling point, and then he steps in as the strong man. It reinforces his power.
Wow. And you mentioned something else. A physical thing he does.
Oh yeah, this is pure performance. He'll be in the middle of some intense debate, and he'll announce he's turning his camera off to get dressed.
But he keeps talking.
Immediately. He never stops talking. The action itself is the pivot. It's theatrical. It resets the emotional energy in the room, gives everyone a second to breathe, but he remains completely in control. It's all about managing the audience's tension.
So this controlled chaos, that leads us to the ideas he's using to fuel it. The second big thing for the expose has to be his intellectual process, or lack thereof.
Exactly. His whole thing relies on making you distrust every other source of information.
Right.
So to really unmask him, the analysis has to catalog his destructive logical habits, the fallacies. It's less about arguing with him on the Mandela effect and more about showing how he argues.
Because if it's just about the topics, people can just write it off as a difference of opinion.
Precisely. You have to reveal the toolkit he's using. The listener needs to systematically, identify and label the fallacies, show where he just asserts things instead of providing evidence.
So what are the big ones? What keeps showing up in the transcripts?
Well, the most common one is a mix of false equivalence and an appeal to mystery. He'll take a real, proven institutional lie,
Right.
and he'll say something like, "The people telling us these stories, they're proven to be pathological fucking liars," which might be true in some cases. But then he uses that to leap to everything we fucking learned in our lives is a fucking goddamn fucking lie.
It's a total generalization. He uses one valid piece of skepticism to invalidate everything.
He poisons the whole well. It makes blanket cynicism seem like the only intelligent position.
Okay.
Then there's how he handles being challenged. He just shifts the burden of proof. Every single time.
You see this with the flat earth stuff.
All the time. He'll say something like, Why are you asking me to prove something that I obviously can't prove to you? He makes these huge claims and then acts like it's unfair to ask him for evidence.
So he frames himself as the humble questioner, and the person defending, basic science is made to look like the unreasonable one. It's wild.
It is. And the last piece of this is, well, it's projection.
Oh, this is fascinating. He accuses people of doing exactly what he's doing in that moment.
Yes, analyze that contradiction. A panelist suggests his anger comes from sexual frustration, and he immediately shoots back, that's nice projection.
While he's the one escalating.
Exactly. Or he'll call a woman's emotional response gaslighting female bullshit, while he is visibly losing his temper and getting more and more aggressive. It's a total lack of self-awareness, or it's a deliberate tactic.
Either way, it completely undermines his whole persona as a truth seeker. It shows the whole thing is built on a kind of hypocrisy.
And this intellectual weakness, this chaos, it's not an accident. It's a product. It's what he sells. Which brings us to the most important point.
The money.
The money. The expose has to draw a razor-sharp line between the emotional volatility and the donation requests.
Because listing them separately in the analysis just doesn't cut it. It misses the point that the conflict is probably engineered to get people to open their wallets.
Absolutely. The listener needs to show the moments where the host manufactures distress, either his own or this big existential dread, and then immediately connects that feeling to the need for financial support. That's the feedback loop.
So we need the smoking gun, the proof that the timing is deliberate.
It's right there in the transcripts. Look at the stream titled, "The Reality We Think We Know." He starts with the pre-roll, and then the very first thing he says is about his own dire financial state. You are really not going to be seeing me very much longer. I've been absolutely running on fresh air.
That's not just asking for a donation. That's a threat. He's making the show's survival dependent on them, right from minute one. It's a parasocial hook.
It's an existential advertisement for himself. And then look at where he places the formal ad reads.
Okay.
The full donation spiel. The world is a crazy place. The best thing you can do is to donate. It comes directly after the most toxic arguments. Right after the flat earth meltdown, for example.
So the emotional climax of the conflict becomes the collection plate moment?
It's the perfect setup. And one last thing, the way he manipulates the act of giving.
Yeah, that moment with the panelist was uncomfortable.
It's a masterclass in manipulation. The panelist offers him money, and he performs this intense self-hatred routine saying, I feel bad enough about having to ask. Go and fuck yourself for that.
Which just makes everyone feel more obligated, more guilty.
Exactly. He frames his dependency as a moral burden on them, which amplifies the pressure to give. It's all designed to make them feel responsible for his survival.
So when you put it all together, he's not just some controversial guy. He's an attention broker. He's selling chaos.
That's the unmasking. That's the conclusion. His entire operation is about using engineered conflict and existential fear to drive dependency and monetize it.
Okay, so to recap the actionable advice for our listener, 3 big areas. First, define the rhetorical tactics, the bait and switch, the moderation.
Second, catalog the intellectual weaknesses. Focus on the fallacies and the projection, not just the weird topics.
And third, forensically connect the emotion to the money. Show the feedback loop.
Do that, and the expose becomes undeniable. Because here's the summary of who he is. Behind the screen, 007 is an attention broker. He uses engineered chaos and existential dread to drive parasocial dependency and monetize polarization. His method is all rhetorical pivots and logical fallacies designed to make you trust nothing and no one, except him. The real message isn't curiosity. It's a feedback loop where his need for conflict and your money just feed each other endlessly.
Okay, based on that, here are a few title ideas for the final video.
How to manufacture chaos for cash, the 007 playbook.
I like that. Or Flat Earth and Fake Tears, exposing 007's revenue loop.
That one's good. And maybe the host who demands you believe nothing but him.
Perfect. And for the video itself, a couple of on-screen techniques. First, demand evidence live.
Yeah, when he makes a huge claim like the official narrative is bullshit, the video should literally pause him,
put up a graphic, or have the narrator cut in and say, what specific falsifiable evidence supports this claim? Force the burden of proof back onto him.
And second, highlight the timing of donation asks.
Definitely. Use a visual overlay, a little dollar sign that pops up on screen every time a screaming match or a claim of financial ruin is immediately followed by a donation prompt. Show the audience the pattern.
Excellent. This should give our listener everything they need to sharpen this into a really powerful piece.
Implement these changes. We're looking forward to seeing the revised version.
Exactly. Refine the analysis and send it back to us for another look. Keep up the great work.